And if I come up to my type tool and I type my name again, here, oh, okay, that's good. And I come up here to type and I say create outlines, and I go to object, ungroup. There's a lot of things you can do with this. I'm going to zoom in on it, and this is just to show you. You don't have to keep this one, but if I grab this corner right here, I can change the way that my font looks completely. You can mess with this thing and change the way that it looks completely. Grab one point, pull it out. I can grab 2 points and pull this out if I want, so that it's off kilter. Or if I undo that, I can grab all these 4 points right here and move it so that it conforms more a little bit. I can grab this point, move it out, because it's basically like we pen tooled around this thing without actually having to have pen tooled around it. So it makes it really handy if you want to change things around. So as you can see, you can really mess with the text a lot by using the direct select tool. Sometimes if you do this, you can get pretty messy and it doesn't really look great. But you can do some stuff if you really think about it. If it's well thought out, then you can do some pretty interesting things with it. So I'm going to delete that. Okay, there's one more thing that I want to show you before we get into the 3D aspect, and that is overlaying a font with a shape. So what I want to do is grab my pen tool, and I'm going to choose a color over here. I'll choose blue, so go ahead and choose a blue. And I'm going to click, make a straight line going across here, and then I'm going to click and curve this a little bit, and then delete this anchor point. I'm going to click back here at the end, kind of make like a wave. That. And I'm going to shrink this a little bit. Oop. Like that. So we kind of have like this curved shape here. I'm going to grab my text tool. On Franklin Gothic, that's fine. I'm going to click, I'm going to type new wave. N, whoop, capital N, E, W, or W, A, V. So it'll be new wave, which, whatever. For logos, you sometimes will misspell or recreate a spelling of a word. I mean, that's very popular, very common to do. And I'm going to shrink this down so it's more this size, maybe even more. Put it on top of my new wave logo thing here. Kind of in the place that we want it to be. And I'm even going to shrink this wave down a little bit. So, we need to turn this font into outlines again. So click on your text, go to type, create outlines. And then I'm going to select both these guys. And I'm going to go to Window, Pathfinder. And we've used the Pathfinder before. And with both of these selected, I'm going to choose Exclude. And what this does is it's going to make it so that when my text goes over the top of this, it's going to turn it to negative or positive depending on what you're looking at. It's also turned it all black. If we want to turn it back to blue, we can just go back and turn it to blue. So this is a pretty cool way of creating a logo as well. So you can go over here to the text tool and type right below it, like maybe we'll say technologies, and highlight that, and we're going to go to a much smaller font. Let's do 12 point. And with our 12 point font, if we go to a character here, we can actually increase the spacing between the characters. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And see how when I click on this, technologies grows and grows? Well, we can go to set numbers. So let's try 50. That's, a lot more. Let's try 100. See how it's spreading out between the letters? 200. But this still isn't going over the whole logo. So I'm going to go to, let's say, 350. I'm going to put this right below my new wave here. And I'll turn this blue as well. Now we got a nice little logo here, New Wave Technologies. I'm going to increase the size of this. Yeah, that's good. So a couple of logo ideas. Okay. At the bottom here, we're going to do a couple of three-dimensional objects. So first thing we're going to create is a ring. So if I want to create a ring, I'm going to go to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to go to my rounded rectangle tool. And I'm going to click and just one time and go ahead and make the width and the height whatever. Let's do 100 and 100. And I'm going to make the corner radius a little bigger. Let's do 20. Alright, so now we have this shape. With my selection tool, I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to shrink it a little bit, maybe 50 by 100 or so. That's pretty good. Click it one more time, change it to yellow, or we can change it to this yellow. I'm actually going to choose this yellow. It's kind of a gold color because we're going to be making a ring. And I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. Looks like my width and height are 80 by 40. So you can actually go back here and we can make one again and do 80 by 40. Maybe 40 by 80. That's good. I'm going to get rid of these other guys. And take this guy. Now, when we do a revolve, which we're about to do, it's going to take this and it's going to spin it around an axis. At first it's going to spin it around very short, but we're actually going to broaden it. So in order to do this, I'm going to go to Effect, 3D, Revolve, and this little 3D option window will pop up. Right now, we don't see anything that's happening, but if I check the preview right here, it's going to show me what's happening. See, now it's revolving. See that? Revolving. It's made it into a 3D object off of our profile. These are the different axes that you can turn this with. If you grab them by the edges, then it's easy to spin them. But you can also grab the cube itself and turn it in any direction you want, which can get confusing. And if you want to reset these, just highlight them and put them back at 0. So I'm going to put all these back at 0. And since this is a ring, it doesn't really matter what all the other axes are, it just matters if you tilt it a little bit like that. So there's our ring, but it doesn't really look like a ring because we need to offset it. So here's your offset. You can either type in a number manually, or I can click on here and kind of pull this out until we can see what the offset looks like. And see, a 212 offset is making a gigantic ring. If we make this a little bit smaller, say 115 or so, then we get a nice size ring. Let's even do like 96. See, our ring's getting smaller and smaller. So I'm actually going to do 90. You can type 90 in here and just click in another box. That's pretty good. Click OK. And we've got our ring. Now we can resize this just the same. Hold Shift, pull this down just a little bit, and our ring will become smaller and smaller. And let's say that we made it smaller, and now I want to make the diameter a little bit smaller. Well, if I select it, go back up to Effect, and go to 3D, and go to Revolve, look at what happens. It says this will apply another instance of this effect. So we don't want to apply a new effect, we want to change the old effect. So don't go back up to Effect and put another Revolve on here because we've already got one. Instead, if I select it and come over to my Appearance panel, see my little 3D Revolve down here? If I click on this, it's going to edit my original one. So that's what you want to do. So my offset is 90. I'm actually going to make it even smaller. Let's make it 75 and see what happens. That's pretty good. I'm actually going to go with 70. Yeah. Click OK. There's our ring. I'm going to move it up here, and I can arrow it over, nudge it. I can also hold Shift and arrow, and it'll nudge it a larger distance at a time. Okay, so that's how you make a ring. One more revolve I'll show you is I'm going to grab my pen tool, and I'm going to do green this time. Oh, but look at that, I just changed my ring to green. So let's go back to yellow, grab my selection tool, deselect. Now I'm going to grab my pen tool, change this to green. I'm going to make a vase. This is how I would make a vase. I'm going to click, and I'm just going to kind of make the contours of what a vase would look like with a stroke. Okay, so just make a profile that kind of looks like this with a base, and our vase is going to happen. But if we want to edit any of this, I can just highlight with my direct select tool, that's this arrow up here, pull out the base a little bit and it'll be a little bit bigger. And our base is going to happen with a revolve. So I'm going to select this, go to Effect, 3D, Revolve, move this window out of the way a little bit so I can actually see this, and go to Preview. And we've got this little vase shape. Okay, I'm going to change these numbers to 0. And on the top, tilt this down so I can see inside the vase a little better. I got mine at negative 27 degrees. Click OK. And we've got ourselves a little vase. So there's how you make a little vase. 3Ds are fun to use, but they can be overused, so be careful. The last thing we're going to do, now that we have done all these other different logo type things, is I'm going to show you how to create a coffee cup. I'm going to choose this tan color. I'm going to create a coffee cup here. So I'm going to create it in this corner. So I'll zoom in on this corner right here. And we need to first make, with the pen tool, the shape of our cup. This is kind of tricky, but make the little lip here for our coffee cup. Turn this into a stroke. And how a coffee cup should look. I'm actually going to come up here and I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to shrink it. Connect these two. Connect these two. It'll look okay, don't worry. And select the whole thing. Go to Effect, 3D, Revolve. Move the window. Go to Preview. There's our cup. Now it looks cupish. Change these to 0 because it's just a revolve, so it's not gonna. We don't really care about the other axes that we're moving along. It's a little thick up here, and so I can change that. I'm gonna go to Cancel, and I'm gonna grab my Direct Select tool and kind of move these around a little bit so that the top is not so thick. That's better. Go up to Effect, 3D, Revolve, Preview. That's better. Looks more like a coffee cup. And change these to 0 again. Click OK. So there's our cup. Oop. Careful you don't mess around with anything down here. I'm going to undo that with the Direct Select tool. Use the regular Select tool so you can move it around. And I'm going to move it down a little lower because we are going to put some steam coming out of this cup as well. But I want to make a handle. So I'm going to go to the pen tool again. I'm going to draw a handle. And grab my selection tool. Duplicate this. Whoops. Wrong button. Alt. Shrink it down a little bit. Move this up here so it's here. Grab my pen tool. Connect this point with this point. And this point with this point so that they're connected. Now I'm going to go to Effect, 3D. This time I'm going to go to Extrude and Bevel. And do Preview. And notice that we have now extruded. However, we've got this on stroke. I want this to be filled. I'm going to switch this to a fill. Go back to Effect, 3D, Extrude and Bevel, Preview. And right now it's kind of off kilter. So I'm going to turn these to 0 again. So you want to turn this in a way that it looks like it belongs to the cup. And it's going pretty thick, so I'm going to extrude or do the depth a little smaller, let's say 25. And I also can make the bevel edge a little different. Turn this just slightly. You can see it a little better. Yeah, that's good. My beveled edge If I do like a classic, just going to round those corners a little bit, but sometimes it can do some screwy stuff, so be careful. Right now it's at 4 point. If I bring this down to like 1 point, it's still doing a little bit of a screwy thing here. So let's see if any of the others will work. Cove, rounded. So it's still doing a little bit of a screwy thing. That's okay. I'm going to increase this a little bit, 3 points maybe. Oh, that's doing some pretty nasty stuff there. But it's okay. We're going to put this behind the cup. You just want it to be rounded off a little bit. I could fix this by changing the way that the points here are connected. But this is good. Click OK. And I'm going to grab my selection tool, move this so it's next to the cup, rotate it slightly so that it's being consumed by the cup, and click it, right click it, go to arrange, say send to back. That's the way it's going to go behind the cup, and we've got this nice coffee cup. Now last thing we're going to do is add some steam. So go to your pen tool, and I'm going to grab a kind of dark gray color here. The K is 70 on my color. C is 0, N is 0, Y is 0, and K is 70. I'm going to draw some steam, so I'm just going to kind of do some little things like that. And another one. Alright, that's pretty good. So just some globs here of steam. Select one of them, go to Effect, go to Blur, and Gaussian Blur. You want the blur to be pretty dang intense. I'm going to bring it up to about 70. Click OK. There's some steam. Maybe a little too much. Undo that. Let's go to Effect, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and 70 was a little too high. Let's do like 60, 55-ish. Do 55. That's pretty good. And this one, same thing. Effect, Blur, Gaussian Blur, 55. And we've got some steam. Of course, I could click either one of these and change its color to black, and that'll intensify the steam, how it looks. Or maybe just a little bit darker, but not so dark. And we've got steam coming out of our coffee. And we could group this. Grab your vase, shrink that a little bit. Grab your ring, shrink that a little bit. Grab your coffee, bring that up just a little bit so we can show off our excellence here. Move that in the middle, and we're all set.